morning. Today is Good Friday. It's an important day in the build-up to Easter. It's a day for us to reflect. It's a day for us to look at what happened to Jesus, but also for us to look at our own journeys, see how we relate to Jesus and his, but also the people around him who journeyed with him and how we journey with other people. For each station there will be a reading and some quiet music for you to reflect. We hope that this journey will engage you in a way of thinking about your own journey, not just today and in the past, but also in the future, and how you can shape your journey in a way that will help you and help others. Our first station is where Jesus is condemned to death. Jesus stands in the most human of places. He has already experienced profound solidarity with so many on the earth by being beaten and tortured. Now he's wrongfully condemned to punishment by death. His commitment to entering our lives completely begins its final steps. We follow him in this final surrender and contemplate with reverence each place along the way. Are you moved by outrage or gratitude, or both? Jesus is made to carry the cross on which he will die, and it represents the weight of all of our crosses. Can you imagine what he would have felt as he first took it on his shoulders? With each step, he enters more deeply into our human experience. He walks in the path of human misery and suffering, and experiences its crushing weight. Can you place yourself with him in this journey? With its anguish and its surrender. At this third station, Jesus falls for the first time. The weight is unbearable, and he falls under it. How could he enter our lives completely without surrendering to the crushing weight of the life of so many on this earth? He lays on the ground and knows the experience of weakness beneath unfair burdens. He feels the powerlessness of wondering if he will ever be able to continue. But he's pulled up and made to continue. you think of a time where you were weak, powerless, and yet you got through it? How? At this fourth station, Jesus meets his mother. Jesus' path takes him to a powerful source of his strength to continue. All his life, his mother has taught him the meaning of the words, "Behold the handmaid of God." And now they look into each other's eyes. How pained he must be to see her tears. And yet her grace-filled smile blesses his mission and stirs his heart to its depth. Even in the midst of great pain, can you find grace? At this fifth station, Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus to carry his cross. Even Jesus, in the midst of his struggle, receives help. He's made to experience the poverty of not being able to carry his burden alone. And he enters into the experience of all who must depend on others to survive. In the midst of your journey, are you willing to humble yourself and depend on others? At this sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. Jesus' journey is at times brutal. He's entered into the terrible experiences of rejection and injustice. He has been whipped and beaten. His face shows the signs of his solidarity with all who have ever suffered injustice and vile, abusive treatment. But in the midst of it, he encounters a compassionate, loving disciple who wipes the vulgar spit and mocking blood from his face. How far are you willing to go to help somebody else's pain in the middle of their injustice. At this seventh station, Jesus falls for the second time. Even with help, Jesus stumbles and falls to the ground. In deep exhaustion, he stares at the earth beneath him. Remember, you are dust, and to dust you will return. He can feel the profound weakness of disability and disease and aging itself, there on his knees, under the weight of his cross. When you feel the weight of everything around you, to who do you turn? At this eighth station, Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem. They come out and they comfort him and thank him, for they had seen his compassion and welcomed his words of healing and freedom. He had broken all kinds of social and religious conventions to connect with them. And now they are here to support him. He feels their grief. He suffers knowing he can't remain to help them more in this life. He knows the mystery of facing the separation of death. Even when things around you give you a different image of somebody than you're used to, are you willing to step out for them? At this ninth station, Jesus falls for a third time. And this last fall is devastating. He could barely proceed to the end, summoning all his remaining strength, supported by his inner trust in God. Jesus collapses under the weight of the cross. His executioners look at him as a broken man, pathetic, yet paying a price he deserves. So they help him up so that he can make it up to the hill of crucifixion. It's sometimes in our brokenness that we find wholeness. At this 10th station, even though our image is more sanitized than it would have been when this event happened, Jesus' clothes are taken away. Part of the indignity of crucifixion is being crucified naked. And he is completely stripped of any pride. The wounds on his back are torn open again. He experiences the ultimate vulnerability of the defenseless. No shield or security protects him. As they stare at him, his eyes turn to heaven. Where do your eyes turn when you are at your most vulnerable and stripped of any pride? At this 11th station, Jesus is nailed to the cross. Huge nails are hammered through his hands and feet to fix him on the cross, and he's bleeding much more seriously now. As the cross is lifted up, the weight of his life hangs on those nails. Every time he struggles to pull himself up to breathe, his ability to cling to life slips away. Whatever pain you are or have or will go through, God understands it. At this 12th station, Jesus dies on the cross. He dies between two criminals with a mocking title above his head, with only Mary and John and Mary Magdalene to support him. Jesus surrenders his last breath. Into your hands I commend my spirit. Will you wait till your last breath to commend your life into the Spirit of God? At this 13th station, the body of Jesus is taken down from the cross. What tender mourning. Jesus' lifeless body lies in his mother's arms. He has truly died. A profound sacrifice. Complete. How does this make you feel? At this 14th and last station, Jesus is laid in the tomb. They take the body of Jesus to its resting place, and the huge stone over the tomb is the final sign of the permanence of death. In this final act of surrender, who would have imagined this tomb would soon be empty? It is complete for now. As we move on with our Good Friday, I pray that you will keep safe, that you will look after yourself and those around you. May your day be filled with peace. May the peace of God be with you.